Hello there YouTube, welcome back for another episode of A Bear's Guide to Hunting. Today we take on our first Elder Dragon. So a few things to know about Elder Dragons before I get into the item list and other things such as that. They are unique in the earlier Monster Hunter games like Monster Hunter Freedom Unite in that you don't normally defeat them in a single quest. So the way it will work is you basically have a 25-minute timer. The quest is 50 minutes long, but you have a 25-minute timer. If you do 30% of the Elder Dragon's health as damage to them before the timer runs out, then they will flee. At the 25-minute mark, it will check if enough damage has been done, and if it has, then they will flee. And so what happens there is you have to wait for the quest to reappear in the quest list, and then fight them again. And the damage you did during that first quest will carry over to the second. Usually, you'll end up beating them in the second quest, but sometimes it can go longer than that. But I don't think that's ever happened to me. It's usually the second quest is all you'll need. So yeah, Daora, Beast of Wind, uses a lot of ice attacks in the first quest because that's usually in the snowy mountains. In the jungle, I think it's just pure damage. I don't think there's an element associated to it, but I guess we'll find out. So I have brought with me potions, mega potions, as you'd expect. Powerjuice and Megajuice. When you're fighting against Elder Dragons, there's a lot of running around. They're very fast. You'll also find yourself dodging a lot more because there's very short gaps between their attacks. So these are useful for that. Demondrug and Armourskins and the Mega versions of each. These fights can get pretty rough. They can do a lot of damage in a short space of time. So it's definitely good to have these, so you can reach that damage threshold before the 25-minute mark. And then hot drinks I bought because I thought we'd be going to the snowy area, which is where I fought them the first time, but not this time. Poisoned meat. I'll get into why we have that in a second. Well done steak, obviously. Bounce bombs are useful because it flies a lot, and you'll want to get it on the ground so you can hit it easier. And then just everything else that they give you. And you'll notice they give us poison throwing knives as well. So let's start looking for Daora. And I'll explain that. So, Daora is actually weak to thunder. However, thunder is not what you want to use against Daora, especially. Daora and a few other Elder Dragons, like Lanastra and Teostra, they have added abilities that are really annoying. So Kushala Daora has will get a wind effect around them when enraged, and that wind effect will knock you over if you're close to them, if you're within striking distance, and that gets really annoying really quickly because it basically means that you can't fight. So the only way to stop that is to poison them. So if you poison his Kushala Daora, there she is. Has she noticed me yet? No. Let's see if I can't get this to work. So if you poison them, then they will that effect will go away, and you can actually start hitting them again. It also means that you aren't as vulnerable as often. Because you aren't constantly being knocked over by the wind, which is really helpful. I kind of put that stake in the worst place imaginable. And yeah, she just left. Alright. I guess we'll just follow then. It was worth a try. I've never gotten poison meat to work. I only brought 2 paintballs as well. Actually, I didn't bring any. I've only grabbed whatever was in the chest. That was a mistake. Anyway. Alright, so this is Daora. You can see the wind effect there already. Alright, so that wind effect is going to become annoying. The only two places where it won't really hit you is on Daora's head and tail. Because it's kind of in a circle around their torso, and head and tail both kind of stick out of that circle. It'll still hit you every now and then, but not as often. Ah, damn it. See what I mean? This is what a lot of the fight is like. Trying to get a hit in, but being just sent back by that wind. It's infuriating. Let's see if I can't use the poison throwing knives. Alright, poisoned, and you can see the wind effect is gone. It doesn't mean that Daora's attacks get any weaker, it just means that that effect is no longer there, so you can actually get in close and start fighting. And that is why I bought a poison weapon with me. I never went over the equipment. When Daora changes areas, I will go over that. Apologies. Just since we're on a bit of a timer, I wanted to get into the fight. So what I bought is the Deadly Serpent Blade. It is made with, I believe, Eye of Prey materials, but I'll have to check on that. And the reason I got it is it has a good amount of damage, a good amount of green sharpness, and also, obviously, poisons. Which is pretty much what you want to bring against Daora. Like I said, you can bring lightning, but you're going to be getting knocked over a lot more if you don't have the ability to poison them when you need to. So I would highly recommend poison. So yeah, let's see, what other notable things are there? The Daora's element of their attack, I ran right into that. Daora's attack element, it depends upon the area you're in. So in this area, Daora's attacks are just normal. But if you're fighting in the Snowy Mountains, then Daora's attacks will have an ice element and can inflict the snowman status, so be aware of that during the first fight. Alright, let's see. So Daora has several attacks, the most notable of which is the Wind Blast straight ahead that Daora will do, and I think the poison has worn off. Yes, it has. The other one that Daora will do, which they helpfully demonstrated there, is a charge attack in a straight line. Daora won't track you for that charge attack, it will just be in a straight line. So you can just roll to the left or right, fairly easily avoid that one. Alright, let's see. When Daora is in the air, it will frequently do that spin and flip 90 degrees around you to attack you from a different angle. So try not to stay still for too long. Let's see, what else? Sometimes Daora will only do one wind blast, sometimes Daora will do 3. Let's see. The other thing to be aware of is when you get knocked down by the wind effect, you have no iframes. So that will, if Daora then chooses to charge or wind blast, it will hit you. And you won't be able to dodge because you're still staggered from the wind. So you need to be really, really careful of that, especially when Daora is enraged. So yeah, this fight is probably one of the more frustrating ones, because it's just very hard to get a hit in a lot of the time. So do I have any poison knives left? I have 2. I need to stop running behind my cat. It is getting me mullered. Alright, come on. That one didn't work. Oh no. And there you go, that was a nice demonstration. If you get blown over, you have no iframes. Just let me stand up, would you? Please? Yeah, you can see it's just a straight line run on that charge, so you can dodge that fairly simply. This is going to hurt. Yep. That's what it looks like when you get hit by the wind blast from the air. That was close. I did, full disclosure, I did die on my first fight against Daora once. Just kind of made a stupid mistake, which is often how this fight can go. It's very easy to kind of get knocked over at the wrong time, and therefore get a massive amount of damage in and die. Alright. So yeah, typically you'll want to stay away from the head just because the wind effect staggering you in front of Daora is a bad thing to have happen to you. But it's also the easiest area to hit because of the wind effect. I am not facing the right way, am I? Nope. Wasted that opportunity. Alright, Daora is now enraged. You'll notice that... Oh, it's leaving. Okay. I imagine going to area 3. In which case I might just wait and eat a ration. Alright, and you'll see that when Daora leaves the area, the fog kind of clears because the wind dies down. So that's a nice way of knowing if Daora is in an area or not. You see the fog's kind of heavier here. So even if you haven't paintballed Daora, it's somewhat simple to track. Did Daora eat that meat? Or did it just despawn? It's weird that Daora was over there. Not poisoned though, so no. I think it did just despawn, if we're honest. Alright, so let's continue through the attacks. So you've seen the Ice Blast, you're seeing kind of the claw that Daora will do in front of it when you are underneath and it is flying. That's kind of to stop you from charging, doing any charge attacks underneath. That's another attack. The kind of cone of wind it will do. It'll fly forward and breathe from side to side. Does a lot of damage, as you just noticed, as you just witnessed. Actually, speaking of which, let me take my Armourskin here. Please be quicker about it. Alright, there we go. That jump back that Daora does a lot is just to reposition. Will typically followed up with a charge or a wind blast, one of the two. Daora can also do a tail swipe, I believe, but I don't think I've seen it. I might be thinking of Lunastra. I know Lunastra has a tail strike, but Daora will also claw in front of it. If you're in front, or if the cat is in front, it will claw across its body from left to right. All right. I just really want to poison you again, mate, if I'm going to be honest with you. That would be nice. So let's see. What else is there? The thing about Daora, really, the thing you really want to be careful of, is just staying mobile, making sure your stamina doesn't run low. You really want to have full stamina if you can, and just reapplying that poison whenever you get the chance. And don't forget, this is I've already done this quest once, so Daora is already taken at least 30% of its health as damage. But I think I actually did more than that in the earlier quest. Alright, when it's enraged, it will spend most of its time in the air. And the thing to be aware of mostly when it's in the air is that cone of wind that it will do. Is when it breathes forward and flies forward. That's really damaging and can catch you off guard a lot of the time. But really what you want to try to do is stay behind, although it will frequently turn around, but try to hit the tail when it's enraged so the wind effect doesn't get you as much. Okay, my cat decided to hit me, which stun locked me and meant that I was still in the way when Daora showed up, so thanks for that, cat. It's about as helpful as my real life cat. and is likely to sabotage me. Alright, move. Alright. While that wind blast looks like it has quite a wide range, it actually does not do damage in that entire area of effect. It's a pretty narrow damage cone that it has. And while there is a kind of a shorter time limit, the 25-minute time limit, try not to worry too much about it, because you're more than likely going to kill it. You're more than likely going to hit that damage threshold, and it won't really be a concern. So try not to be too frustrated. Don't be impatient. Make sure that you're not making kind of quick decisions. And that you're making sure that you aren't getting caught off guard. You will almost certainly do enough damage. Especially if you use this weapon, because you'll get the extra poison damage every now and then as well, which is pretty useful. Okay, yeah, you see, what I did there is I tried to do a charge attack, and I got punished. Heavily punished. Yeah, that's the other attack that Kushala will do in the air, is it will fly kind of low in a straight line and knock you over that way. That one does a lot of damage. That one and the wind cone, I think, are the two that do the most damage that Daora has access to. So be careful of those. Damn it. Should not have tried to charge there, that was a mistake. Fighting Daora, there's the claw attack. Fighting Daora in the jungle is tricky just because of all the foliage and the fog that Daora brings. It makes it very hard to actually see anything. You do get lightning rods, actually, I just noticed. So I'm going to make use of some of those. Lightning rods are really good, and I don't think they made a reappearance in any of the other games. They're very specialized. You can only really use them if it's raining in the area. But they are pretty good. They do a lot of damage. And I think they might even have a chance to paralyze. But I don't know. I'll put that in Bear's Broken Brain in the description if I remember. Okay, I believe Daora is leaving. Okay, so let's go over equipment real quick. So we have the Deadly Serpent Blade, which I said has a good amount of attack, good amount of green sharpness, and poison. Remobra material, there we go. That's answered the question. I didn't think it was Eye Prey, it wasn't red enough. And then the Yian Garuga set I've been using quite a lot with 4 expert duels, so that we actually do get that critical chance up, or that affinity up. And this set is very bad at gathering, but that's not the whole point of this series, so it's not a problem. Fighting, another note, fighting Daora in this area that we're going to in a second is awful. It is very narrow. There's a few areas like this in Snowy Mountain as well that you have to fight Daora in. Flash bombs are pretty handy just to kind of lock it in place. But it's so narrow that it's very hard to avoid the wind effect if Daora still has it. I missed! Right, is Daora leaving? Okay, so I guess we aren't fighting Daora in this area. But if you have to, you can tell it's very narrow, very short. So it's very tricky to avoid the wind effect if it becomes enraged. I believe, yeah, it's going to Area 6, okay. So we'll just cut through here and then go up here. But yeah, the main thing with Daora is just making sure you're constantly ready to avoid if you need to, and making sure you have enough stamina to dodge and run around, and enough health to take a big hit, because it can come out of nowhere. Oh, hold on. That's a good sign. Okay. I think we'll aim for the tail today. Alright, so Daora is very upset. Alright, that's another thing that Daora can do. Alright, apologies for the bright flash. But it does kind of fix Daora in place a little better. Allows you to get off some good hits with the greatsword. But yeah, one thing that Daora will do with the claws is that you'll take damage from her tail or her back claws when she does it. So you want to be aware of your health, because you don't stagger from that damage, but it is happening. So just pay attention to that, and you should be fine. Also, one thing that's useful is kind of taking one hit, getting one hit in, and then rolling out of the way. Because typically Daora is, especially when enraged, is quick enough that you can only really get one good hit in. And if the wind effect is still on, then you can only get one good hit in there too. So, and right now I kind of don't want to go over there, because that's the exit. Okay, I think we're better now. Another weapon I would recommend for this fight is the longsword, if you can bring it. I can't see what's going on. Longswords, because then you'll find it easier to cut through the tail and not bounce off the wings. The wings are very difficult to cut through. You need blue sharpness, or if you fill up the spirit gauge on the longsword, it will stop bouncing off, and it will be as though you have what is the effect? Blade Master, I think. Not Blade Master, but there is an ability that makes it less likely for you to bounce off of an enemy. You can see it there. I'm kind of bouncing off the neck and the wing, and that's because I only have green sharpness. But blue sharpness is very hard to get in this stage of the game, and if you do have it, it's typically very short. So it is not worth kind of looking for. Okay. So Daora's gotten enraged again, and is roaring. And so that is good. That means that we are probably getting close to enough damage. There's that flying in a straight line move I told you about, the kind of dive. And I think these are the three kind of explosions, or the three kind of air blasts. Yeah, Daora's staggering a lot. That means we're getting close to the end. There goes the tail. That's fantastic. Oh, okay. I didn't realize Daora could do that. That's new. So I guess Daora can actually, when she jumps backwards into the air, will shoot an explosive or shoot an air blast at your position. So be aware of that. That is a move that I didn't see in my last fight with Daora, probably because she wasn't very low on health. Alright. Just kind of trying to pile on the damage now. Alright, Daora's roaring again. Like I said, that's a pretty good sign. Alright, run away from the Wind Dragon, please. Alright. Alright, well, we didn't actually kill Daora. We hit that 25-minute limit. But, so now I have seen it flee twice. But that's typically the setup you'll want. Is you'll want to have poison available so you can remove that wind effect if needed. Make sure that your stamina is full. Like I said, Powerjuice is a good way to kind of make it so that you're always able to block and always able to run and dodge if you need to. That's why I bought those. I don't ever use them typically as a Blade Master, but in the Elder Dragon fights, I do find that they're good to have if you feel like you need that kind of advantage. Demondrugs and Armourskins didn't end up using the Demondrug. Probably should have. I think if I had, Daora would be dead. That's definitely something to take note of. They are very, very useful, and they do make a sizable difference. And obviously Armourskins so that you can survive those hits. But that's typically how it will go with Elder Dragons on your first, and sometimes even, apparently, your second quest against them, if you can't pile the damage in enough. But like I said, a Demondrug would do it, if we're honest. That will definitely have you outputting enough damage to finish it off on the second quest. But that's going to do it for this episode. Like I said, poison's pretty much a must. If you don't want to do poison, then thunder, but I do think that poison gives you an advantage in getting rid of that wind effect, which is really hard to deal with. So I would recommend poison. Try to hit by the tail, because it's typically outside of the wind effect more often, so you'll be able to get more hits in there. And just be wary of air attacks, because they're very quick and they are typically very damaging. But yeah, it's not too bad of a fight. You've just got to be on your toes. So yeah, hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something. And like I said last time, I am on Twitch. I'm streaming Tuesday through Thursday, 8 to 10 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Just kind of play a bunch of different games, try to relax, have a good time, chat about game mechanics and what makes games work and all that. It's pretty good. Try to keep it nice and relaxed. But anyway, hope you all enjoyed. Let me know if there's anything you want me to improve, or let me know if this helped. And I shall see you next time.